watching this interview here today. We have Evie Strange, and we're really excited to chat with her and learn a little bit more about what she's doing during this just uncertain time. And she's doing some really cool things. So I'm excited to have her share those with you. But Evie is with Wonderland Adventure Company, and so excited to learn more about it. So Evie, I first want you to share a little bit about your business with us.
Okay, so Wonderland Adventure Company is a travel company that specializes in Disney travel. So it would be all aspects that are Disney. And on the other side of that, we also specialize in music festivals, cons, so traveling to cons, and any type of other exotic type of vacation.
That's really cool and really unique. And I love that it's focused in this area. So I know with that, I'd love for you to share what is it right now that you are focusing on doing for your marketing efforts during this uncertain time? You know, a lot of agents are just kind of curious, like, what can I be doing right now to continue growing my business during a time like this? And so what are you doing to grow your business right now?
Well, for Wonderland Adventure Company, we're actually doing a lot of throwbacks to different periods of time where we were traveling in Walt Disney World or in Germany, just posting photos with inspirational thoughts and quotes. So it doesn't have anything to do with marketing. It's more just connecting and keeping out that positive message. There's so much content on social media, and it's very sad to say that most of it is negative. And in these times, we actually have to have that positive mindset, because if we let those gremlins in to try to like overtake us, then we're not going to succeed as a company or even as a business connection to all of the travel companies, right? So all of us are in this together. So as long as we keep sending out that positive message, it's going to inspire people to want to travel when this is over. Whether it is weeks or months, we're going to be there to pick up those pieces and help people get on with what they're doing. Now, for my other company, I do have a company, it's Tour Fiend Travel and Entertainment, which is where Wonderland Adventure Company was born. On that site, we're actually doing interviews with artists, DJs, musicians, and entrepreneurs. And with that, we're actually interviewing them and asking them what they are doing with their time right now in order to be creative and positive. And so we're posting these on our YouTube channel for Tour Fiend, and people are loving to see it because these are artists and musicians that they wouldn't normally get to talk to. And they're seeing how they're handling this crisis and to keep inspiring and having hope. So that is what we've been doing.
That's really cool. And that's so important too, is just the positivity and just continue to grow that. And so I guess one question is, since you've been finding that, recording those, and that's been really helpful, what advice would you have for other travel agents right now on things that they can do? And what are some, if you're not specializing in working with musicians and DJs, but maybe they could focus with suppliers that they might work with or someone else? So are there any tips that you would have for other agents on how they can kind of do something similar?
Yeah, absolutely. I think that creating that positive content is the first thing. So you have to stay visible. To clam up and not do anything is the worst thing that we can do. We have to stay in the forefront of what's going on, and we have to keep promoting that message that we are really what is needed. I mean, there has been so many articles about why a travel agent is important, and this is happening right now. And if you had a travel agent, they'd be able to take care of all of those trips that got canceled, and you need to rebook those. And people are having to do that on their own, and they don't have a travel professional to navigate those waters. So some people are not happy with the way things are turning out. So right now, it's so important to be that positive message and continue to put that out there. You have to be careful because you can't hard sell somebody in a time like this. You can't be posting specials for travel and things like that. So people go, oh gosh, what am I supposed to post, right?
Yeah.
So I think just continuing to connect, sharing your own journey is something that's super important. And then when that time comes, then we can move on to that next step.
Yeah, that's so important. And hopefully it comes sooner than we think too. And that's awesome. And have you had any clients that you've been working with that have supposed to be traveling, especially with Disney, and they're completely closed right now? So how have you been handling that and navigating that with your own clients?
Well, I mean, I did have a client that was on their way to Germany for a music festival, and um, they kept wanting to cancel. And they said, "Can I cancel? Can I cancel? I want to get a refund. I want to make sure I have my money back," because that is something that's a concern right now, is to be able to get a refund rather than a credit, because people are panicking that they're not going to have the money for what they really need. And I kept telling him, I said, "You know what? I'm going to be the voice of reason. I'm going to tell you, just wait. This is like 30 days before his trip." And I said, quite frankly, the airlines don't even want to talk to anybody unless you're traveling in the next 72 hours, because they're that inundated with phone calls. They're not worrying about that. So I'm like, just, hold on, let's just wait. And then probably about 2 weeks before, so this would be 2 weeks later, we got an email. So I got the email that the trip was canceled, and would he like a refund, or would he like a credit? Right? So
Yeah.
it's that kind of stuff. It's those are the times when you need a travel agent to hold your hand and say, "Hey,
Hmm.
let's just take one step at a time. Let's see what happens and how this unfolds, and then we'll move on to the next step." So there was that, and then I actually have somebody that's wanting to do a Disney cruise, and we're just waiting right now. So this is 2021. I can't do air for 330 days before the trip. So being that it's in September, we have to wait a little bit, but I have quoted the actual cruise itself so that we can start building that package. And then I have somebody else that's going to Disneyland Resort for their daughter's third birthday, and she wants to go in August. So we're going to give it a little time. We're going to be
Hmm.
patient, see what Disney announces, and then we'll move from there. But yeah, people are still interested. They want to travel, but they need those experts to show them the right thing to do.
Totally. That's what I was just actually talking to colleagues about that a little bit ago today, is about how strong the travel industry, travel agents in particular, are going to come out of this, because it just is going to show you that this is why you need somebody to know their stuff and to help, hold your hand when, God, like, hopefully this doesn't happen again, but things like this happen, and it's helpful to have somebody on the other end who can help you and guide you and do that. And yeah, so important. And the last thing I want to ask you too is, what do you think, or what are your last thoughts about basically what can happen after this, and what should agents be preparing for? Because I mean, it might be in a month, and it could be in a couple months, or however long. So what are you kind of hoping for, and preparing yourself for when everything does come back?
Well, for a travel agent, it's all about being knowledgeable about what's happening. So we have to stay up to date on what all the regulations are and what's going to be required to go from one place to another. So, I mean, just within the US, if we end up having a travel ban, we need to know what it's going to take for one person to go from California to New York. So we have to always be in the breast of everything that's coming on, because people do look to us as experts and specialists, and we need to come through with that. So that is what we have to commit to our clients, that we do know everything. There's not going to be something that comes back, "Why didn't you tell me that?" Right? We're going to tell them before they need to ask that question, so that everybody is prepared and we can have that confidence, and they have confidence in us.
Awesome. That's, yeah, so